Hello, everyone. Welcome to Women Atheists Unload, the show by women for everyone. Today's topic is Christmas for atheists. So let's get started.
I know you told your friend you're not okay. And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray.
Hey, how is everybody? Hi, Stephanie. And welcome, Purple.
Hello, thank you for inviting me on.
Well, today's topic, we're going to talk about Christmas and how it's like for atheists. So let's start with Stephanie. So, what do you do? Do you celebrate it? Don't celebrate it? What do you think?
I don't celebrate Christmas. I mean, I do. I've always had a fondness for uh, the change of the seasons, the days starting to get longer as opposed to continuing to get shorter up till the 21st. I think the natural cycles of the year and the world are something that we've all come to appreciate over time, and various cultures, including my own, being from the Christian tradition, have found ways of weaving that stuff in. But really, let's get down to basics here. Let's get down to the fundamentals and celebrate the return of the light. That's so I don't really celebrate in any particular way. I just I used to, of course, when I was young. I was raised in the legends of Saint Nicholas and all of the being of English heritage, the old traditions of kisses under the mistletoe and all of that stuff. But yeah, no, not really. I mean, and particularly the passing of every member of my nuclear family. It's just sort of it's just sort of let's call my nieces and nephews and people who are dear to me on on a particular day, and
Yeah.
try to stay warm up here in Maine where it gets cold.
Yeah, I understand. And how are you, Purple?
I'm doing okay. I'm still fighting off COVID.
Oh no.
Well, they told me I'm not contagious anymore, but I'll probably still be dealing with the sinus crap and the cough for a couple of weeks yet.
Yeah, I know. I had it too, and I was miserable for a little while. But lucky for me, I was already vaccinated. So.
Yeah, same. I've been fully vaccinated, but I've got it 4 times. But at least
Oh,
the vaccines have kept me from going in the hospital, and I can just sit at home with it.
yeah. Yeah. No, I was still miserable, but I was at least able to stay at home and not to worry about like getting something like really serious when I should have to go to the hospital or not being able to breathe.
Yeah.
Well, in my particular case, for Christmas celebrations and everything, growing up as a Jehovah's Witness, um, it was
Ah,
really awkward because I was going to school, and everybody at the school is just like celebrating. They're trying to do arts and crafts for Christmas, and this is something that I really don't like about the Jehovah's Witness. That they are not only send you to school to be, a part of the class, but they also tell you that you have to make a point of not celebrating and telling everybody the reasons why. So you are like,
Yeah.
well, I'm not celebrating, but I have to tell you why. It's- it was so uncomfortable because
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure to put on a kid.
yeah, yeah, and I felt like you were just sent to battle for them, you know.
So, do J Dubs have any sort of uh, recognition around solstice, the change of seasons, or anything like that, or it's just
Not,
not on the. Is it Christmas just isn't on the liturgical calendar for Jehovah's Witnesses? Or
no,
is it just not there?
yeah, it's just not there. We're not supposed to not even mention it. We're not supposed to have anything Christmassy in our homes. We're not supposed to watch any shows regarding Christmas. We're like trying to avoid it at all. Like trying to make the day as it was just a regular day,
Huh.
and
Hmm.
just try to avoid everything. No reunions with family, especially the family that is not under religion. You're not supposed to even talk to them that day or celebrate anything with them because you could get spelled. So it was it
Jeez.
was nuts. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
And you know what? I think that's one of the reasons why now I kind of put stuff now that I put up a tree or put lights on my house, or like right now I just like, wee, look at me. I'm a Christmas tree, basically.
And that's you, huh? All right, look at that.
It's a cute outfit.
Nice.
And I think I only do it just, you know, like I was forbidden to do it for so long that it's now like, F you, I'm going to do whatever I want.
I've gotten
But
to know a couple of XJWs, and yeah, it's kind of the attitude they're all taking about holidays now.
yeah, yeah, I think that most of the people that we have come out from there, we just do it just to stick it to them. So whenever see his like celebrating, like, oh my god, because you know everything for them, everything related to this holiday is the devil. It is not even about Jesus or anything. They are um, one of the things that they taught me on that religion is that Jesus wasn't born on December 25th. That there is no proof of it, so we are not supposed to celebrate celebrate the birth of Jesus because we don't know if he was born
Actually,
that
there was a conference of biblical scholars got together in the 80s
time. Hmm.
to determine from all the scripture they could find what the actual date of Jesus' birth was.
Hmm.
And after this 3-day conference, they confidently announced that Jesus was born on March 28th
You see,
because everything in the scriptures talks about him being born in the spring.
yeah, that's one of the things that they told me and the Jehovah's Witness because they say, oh no, it's not possible that the pastors were outside with the
Yeah.
sheep and
It would make a lot more sense if they would
yeah.
swap Christmas and Easter, have him born in the spring and have him die in the darkest part of winter.
Yeah,
You know,
but I
and
think,
then he can rise again for New Year's.
but I think they do have like a date or something. Well, the Jehovah's Witness will celebrate it on the 14th day of Nisan. That I think that is like the Jewish calendar. That's the only celebrations they have, and it's not even a celebration. It's just like, oh, we remember that day, but that's it. They don't have holidays at all. There's no birthdays,
Yeah.
no Halloween, nothing. It's so boring.
It must be really hard for, just a kid growing up in our culture where the holidays are just all over the place. Every store you go into and on every TV channel and everything. And you're not supposed to even notice that.
Yeah, yeah. Even and I was in Mexico. I was still in Mexico growing up. Mexicans is even worse because they start from the Dia de los Muertos until New Year's and a little bit further on.
So it would that's interesting because you mentioned Dios dos
Dia de los
Muertos, and I
Muertos,
got that wrong.
yeah,
I,
Day of the Dead.
and yeah, Day of the Dead, and so that's not a Jehovah's Witness thing either. I imagine that's
No,
sort of a left out thing.
Christians in
yeah,
general seem to consider that one satanic.
Well, yeah, but it's not Christians in Mexico. That's actually a big deal among
Yeah, I,
Christians in
I don't know
Mexico.
much about Mexico or Central America, but just the ones in the U.S.
Yeah, but it just seems weird, and it strikes me that we uh, one of the things when thinking about the topic of the show that I was thinking about is the unique role that women play in the celebration of holidays,
mm,
particularly Christian holidays. I mean, uh, you know, my my mom, my sisters, my we pull together to make the make the Yuletide gay. I guess is
yeah,
to use the tune of the carol, and it just seems like it always seemed to me growing up that it was the uh while guys would pitch in, like put up the big thing would be going to get the tree,
hmm,
and then it would be the decorations would be the
the
that's
lights
sort of a
outside the
cooperative
house.
thing, and
Hmm.
but it was mostly when it comes to when you think about the holidays, you think about the food. Well, who does that?
Hmm.
You think
Yeah,
about the
Mhm.
you think about the decoration of the house. Well, who does that? And so, just that's what I was thinking from the women's perspective, from a women's perspective,
hmm,
and holidays. I was thinking, wow, you think about the amount of this uh, uh, amount of the actual the nitty gritty, the nuts and bolts of the celebration
I am.
that are mostly laid at the feet
Yeah,
of women to make it work is pretty funny.
yeah,
Funny,
you're
but
right that men it's mostly haul a tree in and kill the turkey, and after that they just kind of sit around while the women do all the prep work.
Yeah. Well, when I was a kid and we were still in the Catholic Church, my grandma was the one who killed the turkey, and she did everything. She was able to cook like for uh, I don't know, we were like 50 at the time because it was like all the grandkids, all the spouses, like her sons, her daughters, and
Yeah,
everybody. And she will make a feast for everybody in there. And this is something that I used to love about it because my grandma was like awesome cooking, and it was so great to. No, I'm sorry.
yeah.
Um, and let me stop my camera. You just got a call. Well, anyway, um, my grandma was like the one doing everything in there. They will cook like for days.
Yeah, well, I'm from a big family too. I'm the youngest of nine, but for me, Christmas Eve at our house was always just a big open house that my mom and my sisters would put out just this big buffet for people to come through constantly, and we would have 70 to 100 people coming through the house on Christmas Eve, just each stopping in for an hour or two and then going on to other things.
Yeah.
I gotta unmute
Oh,
myself. Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve. I would go. I would go into Boston and do caroling on Beacon Hill. I would go and go around from house to house. The old wassailing. Here we come wassailing among the leaves. So here comes whatever. I, and and that was part of the deal. You'd go around caroling, and people would have you in, and there'd be a little bit of a spread, and you'd go and sing somewhere else, and then you'd go and do that. So, for me, that was Christmas Eve for me. When I was old enough to do it, it was tremendous fun. Just standing out in the cold in Boston, Massachusetts, on Beacon Hill, where all the rich folks live, and just singing for your supper. It was pretty fun. Pretty fun. One of the when I was in college, one of the most memorable. I think this wasn't Christmas Eve, but it was probably the 23rd, or it might have been the solstice. Uh, I was at Brandeis, and the concert choir at Brandeis had uh, uh, rehearsed and practiced and performed Stravinsky's Mass in C. And it was in this Church of the Covenant in Boston, and the acoustics were amazing, and it was just like, oh wow, this is just bring you to tears while you're performing that stuff. So again, it's a time of the change of the light, and I was at I think in my with the caroling on Beacon Hill, I was starting to lose my religion, but by the time I was singing Stravinsky's Mass, it was gone all the way. But it was still beautiful, still a
yeah.
beautiful thing.
Well, that is the commonality, is that almost all cultures develop some kind of festival of lights around this time of year, of the return of the sun.
Mm-hmm.
And you can understand, for primitive people, the idea that the sun was going away was terrifying. And, for agricultural societies, that everything was based on, the sunlight and the moon cycles.
Yeah. Yeah, and if anything will happen to that, it will be something catastrophic for them, because it will mean that they will not have food to survive, or
Yeah.
their kids will die or something. But
Well, that, and,
mhm.
worrying about worrying about a predator hauling off one of the kids was a very
Mhm.
real threat. And that was more likely to happen when it was dark for a long time.
Well, yeah, but I don't, I'll give that some credit, but I wonder on the variations in the seasons are so much less dramatic in the on the savannah, closer to the equator. It's not
Yeah. Well,
quite as
I was speaking of, all cultures around the world in general.
yeah.
So all different
Yeah.
regions.
And you mentioned also, Purple, that it is difficult sometimes if you're not like a believer. Then you go someplace and there is like Christmas music, and it's kind of in your face all the time, right?
Yeah.
Well, in Mexico, it's not only the Christmas day. We have like several parties before that. Then we have Las Posadas after the Day of the Dead, and there is like a bunch of celebrations before Christmas. And then we have that the New Year's Eve, and then we'll still have another kind of like Christmassy celebration, that is the Three Kings. And that celebration is like they bring toys to the children. It could be like Santa, but a little bit later.
Mhm.
So it is like 3 months of like trying to hide from all of that. If you are in a different religion, or um, in my case, like I don't care anymore. So I am like, no, I am going to every party now. I don't know if I can show you guys this one. Let me see if I can put it on the screen. But um, I don't know if have you ever seen about like piñatas and all that? Have you seen the celebrations? Is it las posadas? It's like a series of parties that you do before Christmas. It's when supposed to be when Joseph and Mary were looking for a place to stay,
Uh,
and those all of those days where they were supposed and looking for a place to stay is a party every day.
Nice. I like that. That's any excuse for a party. I think that's fine.
well, and it looks like you've got like things going on in the streets, and that it's the whole city being a party.
Yes, that's the entire city. Even though right now I think they have like a fair in the downtown Mexico City, like this. I don't know if you can see the pictures.
Yeah, I can see the carnival rides
Mhm.
there, the Ferris wheel.
Yeah. Sometimes they put up like a skating ring. They have dancing. There is in more recent years they have a parade. Like I said, it's like a bunch of parties every day in the streets everywhere. So it's not like as a Jehovah's Witness you have to hide from all of it. It's almost impossible.
Well,
Now,
I personally had hiding from it in a different respect. That when I not only was I undiagnosed autistic, but in the early 70s, nobody really knew what autism was. But I found anytime there were more than 6 people in the room, I found it overwhelming. So when we're having these parties that are having 30, 50 people, yeah, I'm trying to find a closet to hide in.
So is the tradition of the Kaganer followed anywhere in Mexico?
Which one?
The Kaganer, or it's a Catalan tradition. I wondered if it made it to the New World.
No, I don't think so. Or at
Have
least
you
it might be, but might have a different name now.
have you ever heard you haven't heard of the Kaganer?
No.
Yeah. Well, a Kaganer is a part of the crash. The stable scene.
Mm-hmm.
I'll hang on. Let me just I'll share this. This is a Wikipedia article. A rarely named. But anyway, it's a piece of the stable scene, and it's this guy sitting over in the corner, like you can see over here, having a ginormous dump.
You know what? I did have one of those toys when I was a kid. And it's not the name, but it was that toy was around for any season. It wasn't not only for Christmas. But only what you can do with that toy is just put like a lighter on the butt, and something really long will come out.
Yeah, it's like it's it's a thing. It's like, whoa, that's
Yeah.
pretty
Okay,
good.
I have never seen that in a nativity scene.
The name El Kaganer literally means the poopa. Traditionally, the figurine is depicted as a peasant wearing the traditional Catalan red cap, barellina, or whatever, with his trousers down, showing a bare backside and defecating.
know where that toy came from, but I did had it. And one of the kids in elementary school will get
Oh my
get it
god.
from us, and we will be playing with it.
I hadn't really looked, but it's like apparently there is uh, a society, Amix del Caganer. Amicis del Caganer. It's like friends of the shitter.
Yes.
Okay.
Somehow I can see this as being the secret society that tried to sneak into all the nativity scenes and take a crap in the corner.
So perhaps the Kaganer should be the totem of the atheist at Christmastide.
Shitting on the
The
corner.
people who walk in take a dump in the corner. It's like, hey.
Oh, that's so cool.
Well, it was
Very
already
well.
a stable. It's not like it didn't already smell like, oxen and
Yeah.
sheep dung.
Yeah, it's a really healthy place to give birth. Uh, Oh, what they have in Mexico is that they also have a baby Jesus in every posada. They will be like carrying the baby Jesus with them and putting like in a made up crib with blankets, and they will just swing in the kid. Like, I don't know why it's supposed to be like that, but and then on the 25th, it was posted on the nativity scene. Then we'll finally, oh, he was born. So that's when they place it on the nativity scene, and that was like the Christmas scene. And you will go to mass on that day and eat again. Yeah, it was just a lot of eating during that day. Those 2 weeks before Christmas, and then Christmas, and then you eat again another feast on New Year's, and again on Dia de los Reyes, and
That would be King's Day, right?
yeah, King's Day.
Yeah, that the 6th of January.
And then on King's Day, they have like a very interesting tradition. They give you like a piece of bread, like a cake, and if the cake has a figurine of baby Jesus, you have to pay for tamales on February. So, like I said, it doesn't stop.
Hmm?
Yeah. So at least you get rid of it after the 25th. But here in Mexico now, oh, no, it doesn't stop until
Yeah.
February.
Well, January 6th, also known as the Feast of Epiphany, but yeah, it's the day the three kings were supposed to have arrived. And that's
Hmm.
still a thing in my family that my sister does her little Christmas celebration.
Hmm.
And that's kind of the wrap up of the whole Christmas season then.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, since we have a little bit of a break, I want to use it to thank the patrons. We have thank you patrons for Sydney Davis Jr., Eric Osols, Ryan, Deneen Murphy, Dan D, Michael Weisman, Kathy Cotton, Cindy Plaza, Sunny Shell, Aaron Colson, Phil Calderon, and Amanda McLeod. And also, don't forget to check out our other shows on Skeptic Haven. Thursdays, we have The Sunny Spot. Saturday, The Global Atheist. And Women Atheists on Load. And Let's Talk on Sundays. Okay, now I have another question. Do you think that being an atheist and celebrating any of these holidays should be like a no-no? What do you think?
Well, I still observe Yule personally because
Mm-hmm.
it's the solstices and the equinoxes, are holidays that they're not arbitrary dates that somebody picks. They're actually, based on, the position and the tilt of our planet and the changing of the seasons. So I still observe them for that. And I observe Yule for being the longest night of the year. And that traditionally that was actually the New Year, because then the next day was getting longer. So that's when the sun started returning.
And how about you, Stephanie? What do you think?
I think again, it's a cultural thing. The meaning you put into it is for yourself personally. That's great, but and it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be a sign of your own devotion to a particular faith. It may be a sign of your devotion to your particular friends who are members of that faith. And sharing the joy of the season. If this is the only season they're going to be joyful in, you might as well pitch in and show them a good time, I guess.
Yeah.
But just it's nice to be nice, I think, and I think I draw the line at. I personally draw the line at religious ceremony, unless I want to engage in the religious ceremony for its aesthetics, just simply for the aesthetics of it. Like, it's wonderful to go and do a Messiah sing or something like that. Sing Handel's Messiah. It's great fun, and it's great to listen to. And it's an aesthetic experience. For me, it's not a religious experience. For the person sitting next to me, it might be a religious experience. But that doesn't mean it's not an invalid experience for either one of us. So it's just, again, I think it's just, it's a question of when there are opportunities for human fellowship and getting to know one another and being next to each other and showing some love. It doesn't always need to be Christian love. It doesn't always need to be, love is love. It's not Christian. It's not Jewish. It's not Hindu. It's not atheist. But love is love.
Love is love.
And we should, if there are seasons, if it takes seasons for people to get there, we should. It'd be nice if there were more seasons where that was even possible.
Yeah, just celebrating, connecting with people, and mutual support.
That's why it actually kind of pisses me off when people get all kinds of sours. Like when you wish somebody happy holidays, no, Merry Christmas. Well, what kind of an asshole do you have to be to take offense at somebody wishing you the joy of the season when they don't know what your fucking holiday is? They don't even if you're Eastern Orthodox, they don't even celebrate it on the same goddamn day.
Exactly.
And this is, I was in a discussion, and I keep hearing this over and over and over again. Well, according to your worldview, according to your worldview, according to your worldview, and it's always from Christians telling me about my worldview as an atheist, my atheist worldview. It's like, tell me about your worldview. You've got 20 gazillion denominations. The Catholics and the Eastern Orthodox have been at war with each other since 1360. And what are you telling me about your Christian worldview about? The Roman Catholic Church slaughtered the Cathars because they had a different worldview. It was Christian enough, but you can't, all of this slicing and dicing about, well, the Christian worldview is superior to the atheist worldview. Nobody can agree on either one. So just STFU.
That's awesome. Yep.
Even the atheists, say about that, even if you weren't brought up in the religion, that you were brought up in the culture of it. But actually, being Catholic, we were a minority because we were living in community that was like 85% Jewish.
Oh, okay.
So I was mostly immersed in the Jewish culture going to school and just in the community.
Yeah, and to me, one of the beauties that I seem to get now being an atheist is that nobody can tell me what to do. So if I want to go to a posada, I will go to a posada and drink everything and eat everything. If I don't want to go, I will not go. And I think that I it has to be up to us. As a, that what are you okay with?
Yeah, well, the first line they crossed is I'm not going to have anything to do with any religion that tells me I can't eat bacon and shrimp.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. People who eat bacon are happier. Or when they keep telling you, oh, no, 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 you should not participate in Christmas because you're accepting that all the whole thing is real. Like, no, I'm just in a party and I don't really care. Or if I don't want to go to a party, I won't go to a party. But like
Well,
like I said, I was like, no, I'm going now.
yeah, after leaving the whole Bible behind, I spent 25 years in the pagan community,
Hmm.
just basically just learning about all sorts of, different spiritual paths and faiths and different ways everybody celebrated. So it gave me a really broad and interesting perspective on it.
Yeah. Example, I would like if you can help us or help me personally because I'm not really well versed regarding what Yule is. How do you celebrate that?
Well, traditionally it is, where we got the trees,
The tree.
the Yule
That's all
trees
I know.
from was, but it was at first decorating the trees around the village, with basically the food that was rotting or, leftovers, anything that the people weren't going to eat, and it also had the practical point then of it kept the animals close to the village so that hunting in the winter was easier.
Oh, so it was like a way to attract them.
Yeah,
To oh, okay, okay, okay. And Stephanie was also mentioning that how people get upset now if somebody says Happy Holidays, and
yeah,
we have seen like I have seen with people like are like right wing or their definition of their politics is everything to them, and
yeah.
they get so mad about that. I don't
But
understand
it's
why.
the whole war on Christmas thing, and I think more
Yeah,
than anything else, it's things like, Fox News trying to whip up artificial rage.
yeah,
I don't think this is something anyone ever really cared about until Fox News started making noise about it.
yeah. I think so. And do you remember that time when what was the name of that anchor? Well, I don't remember her name, but she kept saying like, "Oh, kids, don't worry, Santa is white," and I was like, "What is happening?"
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and I think that's also some part of when I start to listen to hearing that. Oh no, the war on Christmas, we're not able to celebrate, and we're not able to bring Jesus to the school. I don't get why they have to pretend to be victims or to be persecuted at this time.
It's part of the religion. It says in the Bible that the faithful will be persecuted. So they
Oh,
feel if they're not being persecuted, they're not doing it right.
yeah, true, true. Because that is also part why you will be sent to the school and try to indoctrinate your peers, and you will be made fun of for telling them, "Oh no, Jesus wasn't born on the 25th." and all the kids will hate you, and but they will tell you, oh, it's because you are doing the right thing, that's why they hate you.
Hmm.
Well, it's the the Klansman's favorite tune, "I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas," was written by Irving Berlin, which
Oh,
kind
wow.
of gives you pause. It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I never quite connected it in that way.
Oh, it's it's an interesting phenomenon. I mean, you're trying to make a buck, writing a song and doing all this stuff, but you have to. You asked earlier about the accommodation of the culture. I mean, that's the way it rolls. You do, regardless of your faith. You can make accommodations to the uh, to the predominant culture. You can, what is the term? I learned it in college, and I can't remember exactly what it was. It's like uh, the there is so much in, particularly in show tunes, in particularly in Broadway and in American popular music, a combination of the music of the shtetl and the music of the plantation, the black
Oh.
music of the plantation, all put together for the entertainment of the people with the money on Broadway who would pay for it. I mean,
Oh.
a perfect example of that is, well, not White Christmas so much, but "My Heart Belongs to Daddy" is a great, it's a Cole Porter tune, but it's so shtetl, it's so my Yiddish mama stuff. It's crazy the way all of that works, and it's funny the way cultures go back and forth and intermingle, and it's all in celebration. It's all in
Yeah.
telling stories,
Yeah.
and it's all good. It's all good. If it's like Duke Ellington said, if it sounds good, it is good.
Yeah. Well, and especially in America, that we have such a blend of cultures, and so many things that people take as being traditional that have been taken from different cultures and spliced together.
Hmm. Yeah, also here in Mexico, a lot of the cultures were like, I'm not quite sure of the word in English for it. That is called syncretismo, or I don't know if it's syncretism, where they just the Catholic Church just accepted a lot of the celebrations that the people, the native, will have, and they just let them run with it because they couldn't get rid of the celebrations, so they
Yeah.
just like kind of change it into being a Catholic thing,
Yeah.
like
Well,
they did with Day of the Dead.
and that's like with my observances of Yule, it's
Hmm.
mostly, going back to my ancestors in Finland, and, the way things were celebrated in Scandinavia before anybody there had seen a Bible.
Mm,
You're a Finn?
Yeah, my mother's side is Finnish.
Be
yeah, nice.
darned! My mom's sister married a Finn. Wilho
Mm.
was his name, and his brother Jono, and I had I called uh, their grandmother was still alive when I was a small child. We called her Aunt Fanny, and she had this place in Stowe, Massachusetts, with a sauna right
Mhm.
by the pond, and it
Yep.
was just so much fun. I was like, holy smokes, the birch switches, and you'd go into the sauna and jump in the middle of winter, roll around the snow. It's like, oh wow, this is really fucking.
Yeah, I never did that part of it, but a lot of my relatives did. The thing of
Yeah.
chopping a hole in the ice, so you come out of the sauna and you dive under the ice.
Oh, really?
Like,
I have
oh yeah.
never heard of that. This sounds like fun.
I don't think my body could take the shock of that fast of a temperature change. But yeah, that's a very traditional thing in Finland and Sweden.
Like,
Cool
okay.
stuff.
Yeah. Also, like I said, here in Mexico, we also have like I think I already mentioned like the piñatas, right?
Yep.
Uh, they were originally made by the Catholic Church because it was supposed to be like you are beating up the devil on that one.
Yeah.
I,
Oh
I
wow.
had read about that the pinatas were supposed to be like effigies of Satan.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
Um.
another ritual. I can't
Which one?
remember what culture it is. Like being the devil is. Anyway, it's
Well,
yeah.
and while it's not identified as Satan necessarily, that there are a lot of other cultures that have traditions, like the Krampus, or just some kind of evil creature that will drag away the naughty children.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
We didn't have
Hein was.
the Krampus. We have the old man with a bag, el viejo del
Yeah.
costal.
Well, that's my father's side is Polish, and in Poland and Russia, they have Black Peter, who will just put the kids in a burlap sack and beat them with switches.
Yeah, that's also, I believe, Hein was in the chat earlier. He could tell you about Svarta Pita. Yes, I think that's Dutch too. Oh
Yeah.
no.
Before I forget, I have to mention that we have a special show coming up on December 15 and 16. Would you like to check out our promo?
Dear Santa, this year I won't have time to play in your reindeer games. Instead, Skeptic Haven is raising money to get a 501c3 charity status. If able, please support us in our goal. The evening of December 15th and 16th will be many guests coming to celebrate Michaelmas and to raise the money we need. You and the missus are welcome to join us. P.S. Your cookies and eggnog will still be there as usual, but tell Rudolph to not poop on my roof this time. I had a hard time explaining that to my parents, and a harder time getting it off the roof. It better not happen again.
Poop on the roof. Okay.
There's another interesting note on the reindeer, is that the reindeer that live above the Arctic Circle,
Mhm.
during the winter, the males lose their antlers. It's only the pregnant females that retain their antlers.
So
So all of
every
Santa's
reindeer.
reindeer are female.
Nice. All of them. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Like Stephanie mentioned, women are like the ones um kind of making it possible because most of the parties and the celebration in reality is the food and the preparations for it, and most of the women are the one who carry everything out for the family.
Well, even more so in our society, since so much of it involves shopping and wrapping gifts.
Yeah. Yeah, that too. Well, I that's the only thing that I didn't do regarding like Christmas presents and everything, because I was like, no, I work for this. It was from me. It's not from a bad guy. You know?
Well, I mean, I still wrap them. I put my own name on them, but
Yeah.
yeah. I actually don't like the Santa legend. As a child, I didn't like it because I knew it was bullshit. They said he was
Yeah.
supposed to reward the good kids, but since we were like, the poor family in the neighborhood, it didn't matter how good I was. The kids at school that were assholes always got more stuff than I did.
Yeah. Definitely. And
So I do think that the Santa legend can actually be harmful to children.
I think so too. I never did that with my kid. I never told her about Santa or anything. The only thing that we talk about is not to mention to other kids that it wasn't like real. That it was the parents. But she knew all the time that it was me buying the presents, and that is the parents, the ones that are doing that for their kids. And for that reason, sometimes kids that are not able to their parents were not able to afford presents, they might not have anything. And sometimes we were the ones in that category because we didn't have anything at times. But I think it's kind of like introducing children into magical thinking, and I really don't like that.
Yeah. Well, it is teaching them to believe in this magical being who can do impossible things.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, so
Yeah.
I don't know as any as any discussion about atheists and the holiday season would be complete without a mention of Festivus.
Festivus for the rest of us.
That's
Yeah.
the very same. The airing of grievances, the Festivus poll, George Costanza. In other words, invented traditions. It's like just totally made up. That for fun and profit, I guess.
Well, even before that show aired in the pagan community, there were a lot of people who were on that about, just starting your own traditions.
Oh yeah. And regarding traditions, I think that you want to show us a video, right, Purple?
Yeah, it was a song I wrote during my pagan years, and Art Against Ignorance put it to music and kind of cleaned it up for me.
Oh, nice.
Cleaned it up. Dang.
Well, no,
I want to hear the dirty version.
no, he didn't clean up the lyrics. I just meant he cleaned up the sound.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, no, I want to hear like the swearings and everything in there.
I kept swearing out of it, but it's still offensive to most people. So,
Oh, okay. Um, do we have it for the show?
Yeah.
I wrote
Okay.
the lyrics to this many years ago during my pissed off pagan phase of my long journey from Catholic to atheist. Art Against Ignorance has brought this to life as something far more incredible than I could have ever imagined. Also, my original version always felt somewhat unfinished. So again, Art Against Ignorance came in to save it with adding the final verse. He's done several more fantastic songs, so you really should subscribe to his channel. Naturally, the link is in the description below.
Oh, blessed be fine Christian folk, we bid you no dismay. We pagans simply ask you, give us back our holiday. Jesus was being born in spring, so celebrate in May. Kindly give us back our winter holiday, holiday. Kindly give us back our winter holiday. Most common practices from our celebrations you did steal. Imitation, sincere flattery, we're glad they do appeal. But credit our traditions, don't act like such a heel. Kindly give us back our winter holiday, holiday. Kindly give us back our winter holiday. The Yule tree we decorate narrated long before of Christ you'd heard. Acting like you invented it is really quite absurd. Not knowing where it comes from makes you look like such a nerd. Kindly give us back our winter holiday, holiday. Kindly give us back our winter holiday. We turn the wheel of life all year, even in the time of snow. And centuries before you we adorned with mistletoe. Your arrogance annoys us most, it really has to go. Kindly give us back our winter holiday, holiday. Kindly give us back our winter holiday. You can keep the image of Santa Claus, for him we have no need. Invented by commercialism in the spirit of greed. Parents tell this lie to their children, it is most strange indeed. Kindly give us back our winter holiday, holiday. Kindly give us back our winter holiday. 'Tis our observance of the Yuletide you Christians do deface. Trying to wedge in Jesus simply looks so out of place. You're not even knowing when he was born, seems like a disgrace. Kindly give us back our winter holiday, holiday. Kindly give us back our winter holiday.
Thank you for visiting my channel. Be sure to subscribe to Art Against Ignorance. The link is in the description box. I hope you enjoyed this video, and even at my most sarcastic, I am still trying to prompt you to think for yourself.
That's so
Okay.
cool.
Thanks for showcasing that. Yeah, that's one of the things I'm most proud of. I've got
Very, very cool.
yeah, I've
That's
got
very
a short
cool.
playlist of like four things related to Yule on my channel. One of them is just about my observation of Yule, that I keep a flame burning through the longest night of the year from sunset to sunrise. And this is actually something that my grandma had talked about, that she would always keep a lantern lit hanging outside of her house, that
Oh,
just in case there were any lost travelers. And she said there were a few occasions that she came out to find a stranger sleeping on the couch, because their car had gotten stuck in the snow. And it was like, there wasn't another house for a mile in either direction. So that could have saved somebody's life.
yeah. And I think that's something that it was so um considerate from them, like helping a stranger, just during the longest and darkest season. I think it's like it was something like really nice to do.
Well, as you can see, the sun has set here in beautiful Portland, Maine. We're still looking at the same scene, except it looks a little bit different. All you can see are the lights of the channel flashing in the over on the right-hand side of the picture, and yeah, yes, it's that time of year. I'll tell you.
And well, one of the things also that I wanted to mention finally is like sometimes this is also an opportunity for communities like this one, because there is people that don't want to celebrate, or maybe they are being ostracized from their families regarding they no longer believing.
Yeah.
So I think this community can be really helpful, and just join together and be together with everybody. I think it could be like something that a lot of people can look forward.
Well, and if I could, this is kind of plugging something I need to bring up.
Hmm.
It's my new tradition. This will be the 6th year that through Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, we keep a marathon relay stream running, so that anyone who happens to be alone on Christmas Day anywhere in the world, there will be a place that they can stop in and chat with friends.
Oh,
So
this is so nice.
yeah, so I run it for 48 hours from when the first bell of Christmas Day strikes at the international date line until it wraps all the way around again to the last bell of Christmas Eve at the international date line.
Hmm. Oh, thank you so much for doing that, because like you
Yeah.
mentioned, there's a lot of people that
Well,
they're just
and I
alone.
need help with that. I'm behind schedule, so I'm looking for people to volunteer to just run a stream. Um, Mostly we had people taking 2-hour time slots to just run a live stream, and
Okay.
then you just tell the audience who's next in the lineup of which channel to go to next, just to hang out for the whole time.
Oh,
Hey, those of us with the capability can actually just do a raid. Just
Yep.
forward them all on. We can just make that happen.
Yeah.
Make it all
So
happen. All good.
so anybody
And
who would be interested in hosting a stream, if you would just DM me on Twitter or on Discord.
oh,
I
thank.
picked I picked up a graveyard shift last year, which was pretty fun. I really enjoyed it.
Well,
I
you
don't
picked up one at the last minute because one of the people
last
we had
minute, yeah.
scheduled was having computer problems.
And you
So
know what?
yeah,
You
on
know what,
3 hours
Purple?
notice,
That
I
was the
had to.
very first time I ever
Yep,
used StreamYard.
I
I
know.
had like uh I had maybe an hour to figure out how to do StreamYard
Well, I
stuff.
had
It's like,
three
oh,
hours notice to find people to fill that 2-hour slot. So yeah, I
it was fun
got
though.
you and Beelzebub to each take an hour on that. So I
Yeah.
really appreciate that you stepped in at the last minute there.
But I'm all in this year. So, for sure. We just got to figure out what time, and I don't really
Yep.
care.
That's really nice. Okay, so I don't know if we have in chat the links, so you or your handle on Twitter, so they can ask you for it if they are interested on doing helping you with that stream. And let me see if anybody else. Well, Godless Scummer said that he would like to go in,
Yep.
and uh,
Yeah, he had already mentioned he'd be taking a slot. We just haven't assigned the slots yet for the most part. I am, giving priority to anyone who would normally have a stream scheduled that day. So, like, since it's Sunday night, Maya's going to get her normal slot for the Bad Science Sunday and fit that in as part of the relay.
oh, okay, okay, good to hear that. And so what do you guys think? Do you think do we still have anything else to mention regarding this tradition, Stephanie or Purple?
Yeah.
That's okay.
And
Well,
we
and then
need a little Christmas right this very minute.
yay!
Candles in the choir, carols at the spire. Yes, we need a little Christmas right this minute. We need a little Christmas now.
Okay then. Well, I want to thank you both of you. Purple Rains with Orange and Stephanie for joining today. And we hope to see everybody tomorrow on Let's Talk with the guests are going to be Cease to Know and Dr. David at 7 p.m. Central. And again, there's the banner there for our patrons. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. And I hope we have a wonderful day today.
I know you told your friend you're not okay. And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, 'cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals.